Sportskeeda, John Cena. You can't see me. Yes, you can see me. You can hear me. Can you hear me on the correct microphone, Nick in Sacramento? Correct? Am I right?
Yeah, I can hear that.
You hear the
that
tappy?
Tap, brew.
Gotta love that string there. It sometimes cuts your mic out, so I want to make sure. We have a lot to get into on today's episode. So much to talk about. John Cena is set for maybe the first major match on his farewell tour, which will run the gamut in 2025. He will have his final Royal Rumble. We'll talk about what the plan could be for John Cena. Something we're going to be talking about a lot in the next month or so here as we near the end of 2024. A major event is set for WWE in 2025. We have that event is being talked about. We have two big returns to talk about as well. So a lot to get into. Nick in Sacramento. How are you, buddy?
Yes. I'm good. Little sleep deprived, but I'm good to go. Ready to talk some wrestling. Let's do this.
Of course, we do have to suggest you get on Backstage Pass. That's where some of this news just broke an hour before we were on air. You guys can do that. These exclusive news on Backstage Pass. Worth the money. The money. Get the free trial for a week. Try it out. See if you like it. And then stick with it. Bunch of free content on there as well. You guys can get that on Patreon. Just search SK Backstage Pass. SK Backstage Pass. Okay, you guys get on there. Well worth the money. A lot of great stuff. Well worth. I pay for it myself too.
So I do too.
So like, you just do this? No, I pay for it myself. Yeah. Talk about that major event, all that good stuff. So if you're with us live, go ahead and hit the like button. Want to hear from you guys. What up, Lynn? How you doing? I can see The Rock and Cena face each other, says Jose, at the Rumble one last time. Well, Jose, let's get right into that.
Let's do it.
And let's get your take on it as well. I want to hear from people. If you're watching for the first time, get your comments on screen. We'll take super chats first. People say, come back to Roman. How you doing, Damon? You're always with us, Damon. I appreciate you.
What's up, Damon?
So John Cena is confirming this. WWE confirming this as well. He is set for the Royal Rumble. So this is going to move some tickets here. I don't know if this will be his first match back in WWE. There's a chance he could wrestle on something else. Maybe even one of those Monday Night Raws when they jump over to Netflix, he could do something physical. His last official match came for WWE on the night after WrestleMania when he made a surprise appearance. And this will have him wrestling in every calendar year. He's been big about doing that, being able to wrestle at least once a year, even if it's minor. But the plan has been since they announced this, is that he would wrestle the entire handful of events, spread out with appearances and promos and different things like that, and angles to build the matches, obviously, and probably a handful of big matches. And he said this will be his last WrestleMania. WrestleMania won't be where they end it. A lot of people think, just end it at WrestleMania. That isn't the case. They're going to end it at the end of 2025, which I think is better because WrestleMania has so many things going on to it. Unless the whole thing was about John Cena, that would make sense.
Right.
So what do you think of him announced for the Royal Rumble? Does that people say, is this going to be his last match? No, his his last match is expected to happen in December of 2025. And when he did that press conference after coming out and hitting the promo and saying this is going to be my last year in the ring, he emphasized that there was a plan and he wouldn't do this if there wasn't a plan.
Right.
So I think whatever they're doing with him, they kind of pretty much know what they're going to do. Obviously, things will change. Some things can change. There's injuries and different stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting. People saying Rock versus Cena hairpiece on a pole match. Come on. Rock shaved it off a while ago. Bald is beautiful, brother.
That's right, Damon.
Bald is beautiful.
916 represents.
What do you think of this whole thing? John Cena Royal Rumble makes it feel like a big time thing.
Oh yeah, it's huge. I think that fans expected this when he announced that this he was going to do his whole John Cena final tour here, not a revenge tour that Liv Morgan's doing. This is the farewell tour here. But I think it's great to start it off there. Well, we don't know if it's going to be started off there. Maybe we'll see him at an event that's happening right before the Royal Rumble. But John Cena, it's going to be a huge year for him. I do like how they are going all the way to December with this, not going to have it be all about Cena at WrestleMania. And plus WrestleMania is kind of early on in the year. So you want to see him complete the whole entire tour throughout the whole entire year. And I would love to see him actually come away and win the Royal Rumble. If he's in the Royal Rumble match, I would love to see that. It would be a great story. Set him up to get a championship match and maybe dethrone somebody at WrestleMania as well. Would be a good thing for his career, make him the all-time leader in championship wins. So, would like to see that.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting scenario for me because I also think the record's out there. He's tied Ric Flair's record, the faux kayfabe record of world title wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got 16. Flair has 16. He wins the Rumble. That means you get to have a world title match at WrestleMania, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the Universal or the World Champion. So, does this mean, that this is a way for a guy who's not going to be on TV all the time? He's still going to be, a part-time dude. Is this a way to logistically and credibly get him into a world title match and not have to have him do a bunch of matches to get there?
I mean, definitely, but
it's kind of obvious. That's the obvious part. I don't think enough of us are saying right here. Here's how you get him into the ring with whoever has those world titles at that time, whoever has a universal title at that time.
And let it be known too, I guess he doesn't necessarily have to go for a world title if he wins the Rumble, right? Didn't Austin Theory? He unsuccessfully cashed in and then went for the U.S. Championship, but he could.
That was with Money in the Bank. That was with Money in the Bank.
Never mind. I don't know what I'm thinking. I told you I'm sleep deprived over here, but but does he?
I told you I'm sleep deprived.
All right. Forget that. But does he absolutely have to go for a world title? Could he go for the U.S. Championship again? Could he go?
I don't know. No, I mean, he's going to go for a world title and try and break the record.
That's you have to. You have to.
That's the part that I think is kind of compelling, and I think, but does it make it predictable? And predictable is something wrestling fans hate, even though they love predicting things.
Yeah, but you've said it plenty of times, and I love that you say this. Predictability isn't always bad. It can be a good thing, especially if it's booked the right way.
If you pay it off, Spider-Man's going to win at the end of the movie. How's he going to do it?
Right. Exactly.
Christina Greer saying Cena will win the Royal Rumble.
Love it.
And Lori, I love all the female energy in here. Lori saying Cody versus John. I love you just say their first names. I love when people just refer to famous people by their first names. Cody versus John at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena would be a big match, but
that'd be huge.
Babyface kind of cancels it out. I think you want John Cena going up against a big nasty heel villain. Cena versus Gunther is
That's been a huge topic for a while.
I just think that's a great match. I just think that's a great match. I think Cena's a guy who I don't want to say he's slower, right? But he's definitely working a different style to saying that's the pace I can work, right?
Yeah,
I think Gunther is not an extremely fast person, but he has a finesse to what he does. And I think the pace of what he does, the brutality of what he does would be heart-wrenching for people to see. But also Gunther has lost at WrestleMania before.
Yeah, and he's looking weak right now. I mean, the way that they're
he's on the ropes here with Damian Priest.
On the ropes, yeah. So
he's on the ropes. Damian Priest really pulled his pants down on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Title reign won't last long. I don't know exactly what you're referencing there, Lynn.
Oh, he's talking about Cena's title reign if he did win the world championship.
Oh, no. But it doesn't have to be. I know you guys got to get this out of your head because Roman had the title for years, right? Yeah. It's okay to not have people hold the title for years and years at a time. You were just conditioned to that with one guy.
Right.
And I think you can have the title for a couple months and not be there all the time. Also, a world champion, I think, needs to be present on the show, but doesn't always need to wrestle, and I'm okay with that. And if Cena he also is going to be filming movies and doing other stuff while he's doing all this. So, I mean, how committed can he be? Maybe winning a world title isn't something he wants to do. My thing is, if you have him for his final year, what's something you can do compelling with him before he's done? Win a world title and say, this will be my final year. Also, if he's a guy who retires as world champion is never defeated, I don't think it's a bad thing either. If he wins his final match, I'm okay with that because he's John Cena. And there's other people saying, oh, no, you got to do right by the business and put somebody over and stuff like that. I agree with that too. Both sides it's just, we care. The thing is we care because it's John Cena. So, I mean, that's part of it as well. A lot of people with different takes here. Gunther versus John Cena. A lot of people want to see it. Gunther is too slow would be good. Is slow. It would be good for a Cena match. Thank you, Lori. You're with me. I think CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. Finally, main events Royal Rumble. Main events WrestleMania. He is not committed to this this scenario, but he's Punk appeared on Raw, had something there, was teasing some stuff. I think maybe they insert him in the bloodline situation.
Woo.
And that's what I think happens. I think he comes out as an unlikely choice as the fifth man. And I don't know why, but they got to give you a storyline reason for that to happen. But that's interesting. I thought it was weird that Punk returned at Survivor Series last year, and they haven't set him up for a match at this year's Survivor Series.
Right.
But Lynn wants Cena versus Punk. I think you're going to get that. I think they're going to. That's like one of those handful of matches. If he's only doing a handful of matches in this final thing, you get him in a Rumble, you get him in a big WrestleMania match, maybe with a Gunther. I think him and Randy Orton have to have a match. They had so many matches together, but this is one thing where I was like, you got to do that one more time. I think him and Punk would be interesting. I think him and Cody would be interesting. And you only want to see him with big name people too.
Right.
But it would be interesting if he got in the ring with like some I don't want to say upper card people, but if he got in the ring with some mid card talent, that'd be interesting as well too.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be fun. And I think John Cena's all about that. He wants to highlight some up and coming wrestlers who he believes in, and John Cena's always been about that whole US title, open challenge thing was about that too, highlighting wrestlers and putting them over at the same time he was winning. But John Cena's always been a man for the business, and I see him doing right by the company and putting over some mid-card talent. But I want to mention something. Well, you mentioned something. CM Punk, Bloodline, potentially that match. He is scheduled still to be on Survivor Series, right? Didn't WrestleVotes talk about that?
Yes, but we don't know what he's doing.
Right. So he's still on. He's scheduled to be at Survivor Series. We just don't know where that's going. Yeah. So,
but my thing is, what business does he have with a Bloodline? Right. You know what I mean? Like,
and what side is he on?
What side are you on? He's not gonna be on Solo side. He's a babyface. So there's that. And and my thing is, does he do this just to spite Rollins?
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So
I guess there's something there. Like if he does this just to piss off Rollins and set up some stuff with him and Rollins hate each other, and that's a big WrestleMania match people want to still see. And they've been talking about that one for years. I talked about it last week. But yeah, everything with this whole John Cena scenario is very interesting. John Cena confirming this, all this different stuff as well. Let's get into the other news we were talking about. We will talk about this coming up here. Once again, that's on Backstage Pass. But Backstage Pass breaking this, a new major event is set for January 2025. January 25th, this will be the weekend before the Royal Rumble, full week in advance. WWE will have another NBC network television special with Saturday night's main event. There is no location set for it, but Russell was reporting it is an event they are committed to doing. There are 5 annually NBC special Saturday night main events. And, basically, I guess they're going to try and present these as like a premium live event on television. And build to some big matches and try and pop a rating on this. We have one coming up here December 14th. Cody Rhodes is set to be featured on that. That'll be at Uniondale, New York, the site of the first Saturday Night's Main Event that WWE did on NBC television back in the 1980s. Nice. What do you think here? Trying to make these events interesting. We already have one on the books. This is it's not gonna face some football. I know they were smart about getting that February 1st date because that's right between the AFC NFC games. Like they're not gonna be up against NFL, right?
Yeah, that's very smart of them. And this is really cool. I wasn't sure how they were going to do, this whole thing and how often they were going to present the Saturday night main event. But I like how they're spreading it out, making it, an attraction that you want to come back to and see, but it's on, regular cable or on a streaming service. You don't need to pay extra for it unless of course you don't have cable and whatnot. But I think this is really cool, making it a more, just kind of a rare thing that people can be attracted to. I think they'll do big things on them. Maybe we'll see Cena's. I don't know if he's wrestling at Royal Rumble. I don't think he wrestles the week before, but he's probably definitely coming out.
Tag match.
Yeah, tag match he could do definitely. But I just love this how they're spreading it out, making it a bigger deal, and it's available to everybody. It's a cool thing. I like it.
Got to find different ways to do the freemium model. Give them one for free and then get them through the pay window. That's what they're going for.
It just shows you the company.
Other people saying that's a good ratings boost. Build up big matches. I think you also got to have big matches on these shows. You can't just have like angle-driven matches. I do think the first one they're going to try and do something with Cody. And maybe a big angle with The Rock. He won't wrestle, but he'll be on the show or something like that. I'm just making predictions, nothing to report. But what we can report to you is WrestleVote saying this is going to happen January 2025, week before Royal Rumble. Great way to advertise Royal Rumble, but a lot of content that week. So you'll do that. You'll have Monday at Raw, all right? At that point, which will be on Netflix. Could be over. Could be 2 hours. Could be 3 hours. The report on that is that it'll be kind of loosey-goosey, depending on what they want to do every week. So I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. I don't have to be 3 hours every week.
Right. That is.
But this is also a major thing, is big changes to SmackDown. WWE SmackDown is going to stay on USA Network, and it's going to be on Friday nights. Okay. But for the first 6 months of 2025, SmackDown will be 3 hours long every week. And I was like, that's an interesting thing. Why are you doing that?
Wow.
A 3-hour show on a Friday. I think it's a lot to ask people. I'm questioning it, but also maybe it's a ratings thing. Just an extra hour. What do you make? What's the advertising? Is it worth it? But my thing is, does the show suffer? I've enjoyed 2-hour Raw. 2-hour Raw. Clean, easy to watch. Yeah.
I've seen back and forth reactions to it. I've seen some people don't care for it, but I see a lot of people like it. I'm one of them who I'm cool with it. I like it. And this 3-hour move for SmackDown, I'm skeptical. Just Friday night, like you mentioned, very hard to keep people, on the TV screen for 3 hours, especially if you have plans. There are a lot of people. They're like, okay, I'm going to watch my 2 hours
on a Friday night too.
Yeah, on a Friday night. A lot of people already have that set in their plans. They're like, I'm watching my 2 hours of SmackDown and then I'm going out.
If you're an adult, right? I guess it's different for the kids.
For kids, it's different.
Yeah, but also like I watch it on Saturday mornings.
Yes,
I kind of at that point I kind of know the big angles and everything that happened on the show. I'm kind of just, I'll watch what I want from it and what we need to cover for the show. But I've enjoyed that. I enjoy the Saturday morning routine, and then I have radio on Saturday afternoon. So I'm like, wake up, breakfast cereal, watch my wrestling. I like the routine. But I'm like 3 hours is a lot, Just my take. I don't think it's an awful thing. No, we have people asking about returns. We have people asking about big returns, right? There's a rumor of 2 big returns. They're coming up. All right, they're coming up. We'll talk about them in the show in a few minutes. But I just saw a comment there I do want to address when we're talking about returns. People asking about this. Patrick wanted to get to this here. Lynn saying they're probably asking for the 3rd-hour Raw. USA Network because we're losing Raw. Well, maybe that's true. Maybe there's something to that. You want to make all your partners happy. Hey, we're going to give Raw to Netflix, but USA Network here, we're going to give you an extra for the first 6 months of 2025. We're going to give you an extra hour. Pat saying, is the right place to ask about Miss Charlotte? Is there any news on when she will return to the ring? Reportedly, she is healthy and ready to go. Yeah. She suffered a very, very serious knee injury live on television with Asuka, and it was clear it was a really, really bad injury. She was gone through rehab, and now it's just a matter of when. Royal Rumble time?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Now, the issue is, though, we have other people, 2 other names that are potentially coming back. And this one we haven't seen in nearly 2 years. Alexa Bliss. What happened with Alexa Bliss? You turned me on to this, man.
Hey, Alexa Bliss had people commenting about her. They said, don't nobody want it with 2017 Alexa Bliss. Well, Alexa Bliss chimed in on this X tweet, whatever you want to call it, and she said, just you wait.
I'm still calling it tweets. I don't care what you want.
Tweet. It's a tweet. It's a tweet.
It's not an X anything.
Right. we're tweeting it out there. But yeah, she said, just you wait. And I said this last week, and I've said this in previous weeks as well, there were videos circling that she posted on her Instagram story a few months back of her practicing her twisted bliss move. She's been teasing a comeback. It's going to happen soon. She's been gone far too long. Some fans have been worried that she won't come back at all. Well, I think it's about to happen soon for you guys. And
obviously Royal Rumble's where you do that.
Yeah.
Right. But I also here's the thing about Royal Rumble returns. And CM Punk went on the record with this, and I agree with him. Everybody's it's kind of expected. It's expected in a good way. There'll be a lot of them. My thing is, if I'm a Charlotte or an Alexa Bliss, I think it's better to maybe appear on that first SNF if you're going to be on Raw, right? We don't know what shows she should be on. She could be on Raw or SmackDown.
That'd be great.
They've already done 3 drafts since she's been gone. She's been gone since January of 2023. She wouldn't have had a baby, and obviously this is a WWE where women can have children and still maintain the road. To some degree, it's challenging. It's very, very hard. But, we're going to see what happens here with her. It'd be interesting to see how she's utilized. Really, really would, and what character she comes back. Does she come back as kind of like the supernatural one? Does she join the Wyatt Six, which a lot of people thought she would be a part of, but she isn't? And is she a solo act? I think she'd be better as a solo act.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be interesting. But her tagging with Nikki Cross as this spooky girl tag team would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that. A lot of different things.
Now, last year though, there nobody expected, and I know it was in his hometown, and I don't think that now Charlotte or Alexa Bliss are not from Vancouver, but Survivor Series, the pop for Punk, I know it was in Chicago.
I was there. It was huge. I wasn't supposed to see it. Did I tell you that?
Yeah,
I thought I wasn't. I was at the show, but I wasn't supposed to be in my seat to see it. Right. I was there for press, and where all the press are in one section. And there's a handful of different people near me. There's people from Fightful. Nick Hausman was near me. And we're talking during the show. And I realized, look at my wristband. Everyone has a different color. And I go to the press person, yeah, we can't get everyone in the press conference. So it's I'm oh, okay, I didn't make the press conference. Whatever. But I'm here covering the event, right? I'm going to talk to fans and get the reaction. So I got my phone ready. And I noticed something at the end of the show. And they're holding the celebration for an extended period of time. And I'm just oh, they're doing it. Because there was some rumbling in Chicago, and I kept my mouth shut about it. But it wasn't clear, and it was but it's Chicago. That was the word I heard was it's Chicago. If you're gonna do it with CM Punk, you do it here. And there was some, and it would kind of remember that news kind of happened that day, that. Yep. It was maybe that Thursday, right? And so we're all kind of all right, they're gonna do this, okay. And it was a wild moment and a wild thing to see. I didn't mean to cut you off though. The pop from that was huge. So huge.
No, it's perfectly fine. That was a crazy moment. I'm just saying.
Donka, Sandy. Donka. Hi from Germany. Love hearing from when people shout out where they're from. Always tell us where you guys are from, especially if you're watching for the first time. Go ahead, get in there, buddy. I didn't mean to cut you.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just saying. Last year they did a big return at Survivor Series. Do they split up these returns with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss just to make them both very meaningful? One at Survivor Series, one at
when you do the Royal Rumble. I mean, how many of those returns? And by returns, I mean someone who's actively returning to the roster, not just the nostalgia. Hey, this person, an RVD. Rob Van Dam's going to come back and he's going to have a fun pod. Maybe he'll work 1 or 2 matches after that. It'll be a little bit, right? Or you have the legends that come out and are involved. I think for the women, they need to do that more. They haven't done that.
Yes, I agree.
But for it would be an interesting thing for her. But for me, I would just have people say I would hold Alexa until the Royal Rumble. Johan wants that.
I agree.
I'm of the thought. Wait a bit. How are you doing, Israel? How you doing, Alaska? Here we go. We're up there in the rural area. All right, go fight a bear. I don't mean that literally, but you know what I'm talking about. So people think, do we get surprises at Survivor Series? Maybe if they tease the 5th man thing of who's going to be in the War Games match, maybe they want to tease. I think that would be a cool way to tease something. Maybe that's how they bring CM Punk back. Or just reintroduce him in the ring. So Alexa Bliss, her coming back, though, I think would be a fresh thing for the women's division, too. Somebody you haven't seen in years. Hey, Terrell. Terrell's watched my stuff for years. He watched me in the WrestleZone years. Thank you so much, Terrell. Always appreciate your support. We have another name though, another significant name coming back, or at least open to coming back. Let me hold my words there. And it is a name that is a former Intercontinental Champion. It is someone you hear on WWE television every week. Wade Barrett. WrestleVote's reporting this, that Wade Barrett is not intrigued at the idea of having a full in-ring wrestling return. He had some back injuries in 2011 that kind of really saw him kind of get out of in-ring wrestling. The Bad News Barrett thing was over, but he didn't feel he wanted to commit to it, and there were just some physical things,
Yeah.
But reportedly, he is open to the idea, get in the ring, one more big match with his close personal friend and fellow United Kingdom member, Drew McIntyre. Personal relationships, big issues. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And I know that would put Drew, who is a way bigger star than he was in the pandemic, I think. He's a way bigger star than ever. And I think he is a guy who you don't need to have him in the world title scenario right away, again, because he was so involved with it for such a long time and only held it for 5 minutes, but he was just around the title so much. I think a personal issue thing with him was so beneficial to him, and it brought out so much of his character. And if you're going to do something with Wade Barrett that's meaningful, I think that would be cool. It's a personal issue match, something that come back one time, only one match.
Yes.
Treat it like that and treat it like something special. It'd be good for you. People say Mania going to cook this year. I agree. I think there's. I'm feeling some good things here. People say a Royal Rumble appearance by him would be cool. No, I don't think they've done that before. The former wrestlers at commentary gets up from commentary and gets in the ring. I enjoy it. They've done it with Jerry Lawler. I think they did it with Booker T. They did with Booker.
They Pat McAfee's got up from
Pat McAfee did it. He got in the Rumble.
So it happens, but I would personally like to see him and Drew McIntyre get into a feud and have it culminate at WrestleMania. That would be really cool to see those two battle it out there.
I mean, it'd be interesting here. Sandy Klein saying, I saw Wade at Money in the Bank in London live. Amazing pop. Yeah, of course they love him in London. They're gonna love him a lot here. People want to see some bad news. That was so over.
It was a great time.
Did that. Him coming out and just saying the worst possible thing about somebody. It was so dastardly. It was like he's a heel. People were just popping for it.
Yep. It was great. It was great.
Johan with a comment though about returns. Obviously, do you bring Wade Barrett back in the Royal Rumble? I say no. Do you bring Alexa Bliss back in the Royal Rumble? I don't know. Johan saying the only reason I would say hold Alexa off until the Royal Rumble is to give her extra time to get ready. That's the only reason I would say hold her off until the Royal Rumble. My thing is it's so far away.
It is.
Give it to me now. Now. I don't want to wait. I want the big culminating payoff, but I want it now, which makes the two conflicting things.
Kevin's an instant gratification type of
guy. But I also want it to mean something.
Yes,
so you have to grow to it, but also give it to me now. People do this all the time. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong. Oh. We want it to be the most meaningful storyline, but right now.
Now.
Yes.
I want long title reigns, and I want them now. No, they have to happen over time.
So you were saying earlier, though, that you might wait a little bit longer than Rumble. Well, I know you're saying it now, maybe joking a little bit, but you were like, I think it would pay off to maybe wait a little bit longer for one of these two, Charlotte or Alexa, after Rumble.
Yeah. Do it after the day after Royal Rumble. Give you something big right on the road to WrestleMania.
Monday after.
The thing is, you do all that stuff on one show, right?
Yeah.
And the issue is what happens in the conversation of a show, right? Royal Rumble, you want people red hot, super excited. It's the show where a lot of casual wrestling fans hop in, this cyclically, like that's a cycle. A lot of wrestling fans consume all wrestling, right? Yep. But there are certainly the casual wrestling fan all right, football's coming down. We'll start watching some wrestling.
Yep.
WrestleMania. I got someone
Yeah.
in my house who watches WrestleMania. I'll check that out. Royal Rumble parties, big thing, right?
Huge.
So so you have all these masters you got to serve with it. And my thing is, when you do that, you start spinning those plates with all those different crowds, and you can get lost in the conversation. I don't think you want a Charlotte return to not feel like a big deal. I don't think you want an Alexa Bliss return to that. You don't want them to cancel each other out.
I agree.
And it has to be perfectly executed. So there you go.
I think they'll do it. I think they'll do a great job on the returns.
Mm-hmm. Getting back to the issue of John Cena,
yes,
and other returns and other things here. We'll take a couple questions. I see a couple of these here. Somebody was saying, "I'm not interested in anything John Cena does." Well, you are in the minority there, bud. You are in the minority. Anthony saying, "John Cena versus the final boss, The Rock." As I mentioned earlier, you're gonna do these big John Cena matches. That's one of the bigger ones you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they do that.
That'd be cool.
Thrice in a lifetime. It'd be thrice in a lifetime. That's right. Yes.
Is Thrice going to play the theme song for that?
I would love that, dude.
Yes.
Come on, dude.
Great.
Warped Tour all over again. Give me Thrice. Hell yeah. Vishu. Great album. Go seek it out.
Yes.
Artist in the Ambulance. Goldberg is saying he's going to have a retirement match. Where do you do that on the road to WrestleMania? That's kind of confusing. Is that a match you don't do on WrestleMania?
I mean, if you got Cena and he wins the Rumble, that cancels out a Goldberg Gunther match because you want the Cena Gunther over that. I'm sorry. You can still
do a Goldberg retirement match on a separate show.
Yes, you can still do it. Yeah, definitely.
Like do it on a different show.
100%.
Who's going to win the men's Royal Rumble match? CM Punk, John Cena, or The Rock? This is Terrell. The Rock winning the Royal Rumble will be crazy. That'd be nuts. Absolutely nuts. And you can have John Cena get into a world title match without a Royal Rumble, but it would be a credible way to be like, John Cena is going to be in a world title match at WrestleMania, and it's his last WrestleMania. And you just saw him win his last Royal. Like, there's something to that. The Rock returning. The Rock is back, and this is how he's going to fight Cody. I like all those options.
It's going to be great.
CM Punk winning. All right. CM Punk literally wins and immediately says, I'm going for this championship. And here, all of those options are great. I care.
Yes.
Yes. Here's another. This is the first year of Royal Rumble where I do not want a new guy, just like a really new guy to the scene to win it. I want a vet. All right. Gray beard man wants to.
I got a little bit coming in here.
Title.
We need it.
Yeah.
It's for the people.
Love to see a 40-man Royal Rumble again. It didn't make a difference. Did it? When they turned it into they did that one year? It didn't make that much of a difference.
I like the 30-man. I mean, it's the 40. It didn't make that big of a difference, really. But I mean, if you wanted to keep going, which I always want the Royal Rumbles to last forever once they're going, then it's fine. But I like the 30-man. Keep it original.
Tony texted in, said, I would rather see John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, double or nothing in Vegas. Oh, that's an AEW show. AEW, they got a hard reset. Did you see that? John Moxley in the New York Post saying they're going through a hard reset and went off on people. He went off on people backstage for saying a lower card match just doesn't mean anything. He's like, it means everything. So good for him, dude. And they have been doing some interesting things, some interesting stuff that's a little, all right. It's a slow build back, but I think they burned so much good credibility with some stuff this year. But hopefully things turn around for them. Back to your questions, Benjamin Crimble. Get these in. We're gonna wrap up here in a minute. Benjamin saying, how long is Rhea Ripley out for? Well, she suffered a face injury that was pretty serious, orbital bone break, which sounds painful. But the expectation is that she could be back in the ring fairly soon. I see her in the mix after Survivor Series.
Definitely. Like I think I said this last week too. We saw the Undertaker have the same injury way back in the day, and he wore that spooky mask for a short.
Spooky mask.
Yeah, for that short.
Come on, dude. A bunch of goth girls come to the show with spooky masks on. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. She can come back.
Spooky mask. Let's do it. Mommy mask.
There you go. The mommy mask.
AC Knight. Talk about his I guess his family member, LA Knight.
Yeah, I think so.
Will LA Knight ever get some bigger names to defend his title against?
John Cena.
Damn.
Yeah, said it.
It's not a bad idea.
I think it might happen.
Not a bad idea. Maybe
think
that's
they
something
should.
they do.
They should.
LA Knight get a little bit of heel heat on him.
Yeah, he could
All
run
right.
that. He could do that.
My thing is like whoever gets in the ring with him in this final year they're gonna get heel heat, So you gotta have some really good heels. Or you gotta turn some people just for this one match.
For sure.
And other people. OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline at Survivor Series. Yeah, this one's coming together. They each have to get a fifth man. I did enjoy Raw, where they were kind of like campaigning to various people to be in the match, and Rollins told both of them to F off, basically. I was like, yes, that makes complete sense. But then also, like, I'll never, ever team with Roman. I'll never be at his side again, is what Rollins said. But then isn't the weird WWE thing that they do is like, okay, I'll do it.
Under these stipulations.
Yeah. Anthony Snyder saying, have a good day. Have a nice day. Yeah, I was Mankind McFoley for Halloween. I had a very good Mankind McFoley costume.
I saw that. That was good. That was good.
Perfect. I think I'm gonna wear that costume every year now.
It looked great.
Well, I loved it. It was awesome. What a white shirt, the mask, and a wig. It was done. How about Cowboy Bengals? No, thank you. My Bears suck, dude. They're so bad right now. But let's stay on Terrell's comment here. OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline. What do you do here? This will be the main event. This will be War Games, double cage match. All right. They make their way to the cage. It breaks up the match. Kind of has like a Royal Rumble meets Survivor Series style angle. I think it's meaningful. It's more meaningful than a traditional Survivor Series tag team match. But what say you, Nicholas?
Yes.
CM Punk could be in the mix? Does Cody Rhodes get involved in this? Because he's not involved in anything in Survivor Series just yet. He's a busy man. Who will be the fifth member, Chad? I'm trying to figure that out myself, man.
Right now, if I had to guess, I would say put The Rock and Cody in. The Rock on the New Bloodline, Cody on the other side. They already have some issues. That'd be cool. I don't know, but I like CM Punk in the mix too.
Is that giving away too much with The Rock? Should The Rock only be in like big WrestleMania matches or huge scenarios? Also it's a match where people get hurt.
Yeah,
like, there's so many moving parts and people get injured in this. And The Rock is a precious commodity physically.
Very true.
So, but also it's if he comes in as a fifth man, he can only be in there for doesn't have to be in there long.
Yeah,
be impactful, and he showed up the last pay-per-view. He showed up at the end of the show, not Saudi Arabia, the one before that, right? Bad Blood. So, why was he there?
What I could see happening is the Bloodline. They're shorthanded. The New Bloodline, sorry, with Solo's Bloodline. They're shorthanded. They're getting worked, and then with a few minutes left in the show, The Rock comes out, lays the smack down, and lets them know who the final boss really is, and dominates and wins the match for him. But
Danny says, "Will Paul Heyman return at War Games?" Interesting. I just cut a video on this. About what is Paul Heyman's role going to be in all this, and I kind of fantasy booked the whole thing. That should be dropping sometime this week on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. A lot going on here. A lot going on, dude. People saying go Lions. How are your Lions?
Hey, Lions are looking good. We had our worst game of the year and still won this year or this last week. So
love the story of your kicker, by the way.
Yeah, Jake Bates, baby.
I love a good kicker story.
The brick salesman.
The guy sold bricks. He never kicked a football until 2 years ago?
Yeah.
No, he punted. He was a punter in high school, right?
Yeah.
But he never kicked field goals.
And he was a kickoff specialist in high school or in college. So never kicked field goals. Plays for the UFL the Michigan Panthers in Detroit though at Ford Field, and then gets a contract in the NFL with the Lions and is now hitting 58-yard field goals, 52-yard field goals to win the game. It's crazy.
Kickers don't get respect, man.
No, they don't.
Kickers don't get respect. People complimenting your background.
Hey, yeah,
way better back. I have this blank, flat thing. I got to do something with it. All right. So if you guys enjoyed the show, hit the like button. Give me those thumbs. It really, really helps the show out. Okay. Tag your wrestling friends. That really helps too. If you enjoy this show as a video thing, but maybe just the audio is better for you, well, you can podcast the show. Our podcast audio feed is up. There are shows up there every week with Vince Russo for free. We also have all those things. You can get those on any audio device, any podcast feed. And then if you want even more, we have our premium content. People asking for Dr. Evil. Yes. You can do that as well with our Patreon Backstage Pass. The SK Wrestling Backstage Pass has some very, very cool stuff, including Wrestle Votes, doing an exclusive show on every week, scooping news. We made some big scoop news by him this week, which was really good. I listened to that right beforehand. Sandy says, I'll share it on my Facebook wrestling group. Thank you so much. That's exactly what I'm looking for. All right, Sandy, you've been in the whole show. Look at you, look a little third host. Joshua, third host here. Talk about women's 5-on-5 Survivor Series. I'm okay with that. I just think War Games is the best way to just keep it in War Games. I don't need to see another 5-on-5 tag team match with no storyline. It's just kind of like they're all there. They have a match. One team wins. That's it. Like I got bored with those when they didn't have a consequence. War Games mean something. Maybe we get a women's War Games match. That would be cool.
Kevin, I have one question for you. Are we going to hear William Regal say War Games this year? Because he's with
like this. War Games.
Yes.
He has to.
He has to.
He has to do it.
He's back.
Yeah, he has to do it. It'd be interesting here. A lot going on. Other things to plug. I will be on wrestling pay-per-view on commentary. AAW. Undeniable. Going to be streaming. Highspots.tv, Highspots, stream with them on November 22nd. I also have announced my upcoming Odd Thruple comedy tour in Wisconsin. I'll be in West Allis on December 5th. I'll be in Abrams on Saturday. I'll be in Marietta on Friday, and I'll be in Door County, Sturgeon Bay on Sunday, the first weekend of December. You can follow me on my Instagram at KevKellum6. It's at KevKellum6. I'm going to type it out in the chat.
Yeah, do
that.
Right?
And you guys follow, all right? And that's on the IG. Go follow. That's where all my comedy stuff is. I know you're busy. What's going on with you, bud? What are you cooking?
Got some things going on. I'm doing some PA announcing at local colleges in California. I'm making some beats here and there, singing some songs for two-piece music. If you like reggae, hip-hop type of style of music, then you can check out my band Two Piece on all platforms at Two Piece Music, no underscores, all one word. Or you can follow me personally for my content on the X or Twitter and Instagram at Nick_Harksen. That's NICK_HARKSEN. And shout out Sandy real quick. We had the same wavelength going on there talking about William Regal, and he said Jinx. So I guess I owe him a soda or something. But yeah,
did I say that right? Did I type that correctly?
That's perfect. That is me right there at Nick_Harksen on the screen. Go give me a follow, people.
Go give him a follow. Good man. A lot of fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for checking out. If you just joined us near the end of the show, go watch the whole thing. That really helps. If you're just watching on demand, comment as well. That helps as well. So just let us know what you think. I'll get into those comments, by the way. I get into those comments when I talk to people. And we're going to start putting more clips of the show, too, for people that don't watch the whole thing. I know some people only want to watch like 10 minutes of it. I understand that. People saying, I got freaking banned by Twitter/X. All right, don't get banned. We're not going to do that. Any plans of bringing Sportskeeda to Blue Sky? Have you heard about Blue Sky blowing up?
So this is brand new to me. I'm not going to lie.
It's been around for a couple of years, but apparently the app blew up because of the election and all the people upset about it. So they just didn't want to get off the just insane amounts of misinformation that are on Twitter. Twitter is not regulated at all. No. You can say anything that isn't true and present it as fact. And there is so much hateful, vile, really, really awful things on there. And I don't think I'm being controversial when I say there's a ton of robots saying things on it. There's a bunch of things advertised at me that I constantly have to say, don't show this to me. And they keep showing, what the hell happened, man? Twitter used to be so much fun, but I'll go on there to share stuff for work and I'll follow some wrestling things, but I spend a lot less time on it than I used to.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big platform. So, I'm I'm a diehard Detroit Lions fan. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's a big time platform for NFL and some other sports. Just it seems like the reporters will report the news, the breaking news on there first.
Mhm.
So I keep it for that sake, but it has been getting, very, very just out of hand. Very toxic. I see.
If you just want to go on for wrestling stuff,
Yeah,
I think our social media team does a great job, like a
Yeah.
really, really good job. So give us a follow if you already do that too. So, but
For
will we go to Blue Sky? I'll have to talk to him. I'll have to talk to him.
We
Because
should.
it's basically a Twitter clone. Just it has more regulation and better moderation and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Which I kind of think we need. Let's reel some stuff in. All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good time. Did you enjoy the show? I hope you did. We got goofy. We spilled our beans on a bunch of different things, but definitely go check out the stuff we're doing. Also, our other YouTube channel is Wrestle Binge. Dutch Mantel back in the fold. Got to record a show with Dutch last week. Chunks of that are up on Wrestle Binge as well. Vince Russo covering Monday Night Raw. His take on Monday Night Raw, bro. All right, go give that a watch. A lot of fun stuff, man. And remember, when watching wrestling, please do the most important thing that you can do. Donate to Dutch's GoFundMe. Need your help. Need your support. I almost forgot that.
Please.
I donated. It was well worth it. I felt good inside after I did it.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
Dutch is giving a lot to the business. Nearly forgot about that. But when watching wrestling, what do you do, Nicholas?
Enjoy wrestling.
Yeah, you do that.